Are you ready for a lazy girl's guide to quick and easy dinners? These are under 15 minutes and under $15. I'm going to start by talking about chicken because chicken can be expensive, but if you get the pre-cooked chickens, if you get them from Costco or your grocery store, they're like $7.99, which is $4 to $5 cheaper than getting it raw and uncooked. So this is what I do. I always pick up 2 of these throughout the week and make super fast meals using that. But you can also fillet and cook a quick chicken. 5-minute meal, really fast, but seems fancy, is grabbing some bread. You can even do regular bread, but I like these like fancy buns. And then layering it with the chicken that I just got, some cheese, the cheese of your choice, and then some pesto. We're gonna make pesto chicken paninis, and you don't need a panini press to do this. Once you've layered all your ingredients on top, the next step is to, instead of using butter, you want to use mayonnaise for grilling. So brush some mayonnaise on top. I'm going to go ahead and add some garlic just in a jar to my mayonnaise, then brush it over top, and then I'm going to show you how you can fry this without a panini press. So once your pan is hot, you're literally gonna fry the mayo side. And if you don't have a panini press like me, I didn't know you could do this, but you can use another pan inside heavy or even just use like a can because you really want to press your panini down. And the reason we're using mayo instead of butter is because not only does it get crispier, but it has like this delicious tangy taste. You can even make grilled cheese with mayo instead of butter, just for a little extra fanciness. So when that side's almost done, I'm gonna just put some of this garlic mayo on this side too, so when I flip it, I can fry this side. Press. Delicious. If a panini isn't really your thing, that's okay. Another quick 5-minute dinner is doing a wrap. And I really like doing a Caesar wrap, a chicken Caesar wrap. I just put a little Caesar salad dressing down as like the base. And then I know like tomatoes aren't traditional, but I like tomatoes on my wrap. So just some romaine lettuce and a few tomatoes, some of that chicken that's already done. You can add bacon, you can add croutons, and that's it. If you want to get real bougie, you can grill this or you can fry your wrap once it's all rolled up, but honestly, we lazy in this house. So that's it. It's literally like a 2-minute dinner. So amazing. And I love to pair this with a soup. You can do a soup that's already made, or you can make your own soup. And I'm right now going to show you my favorite soup under 15 minutes, and it's amazing. This soup will change your freaking life, okay? And I say that with all honesty. I saw this recipe years ago. It is my go-to. It is amazing. But the secret is to use a liquid chicken broth. So don't just use like the powdered chicken broth, or you can get those cartons. It's so expensive. This liquid concentrate, not only does it have way more flavor, but you can control how much you put in. So I like a more chickeny chicken soup. So I'm always going with this, plus it's a fraction of the price. Like what you actually use, you'll save so much money going with a liquid chicken broth. I digress. I cut up some celery and some carrots and onions. My eyes were burning from the onions. If that even seems like too much work, go ahead and just use a bag of frozen vegetables. Honestly, there's no wrong way to make this soup because the secret is the dumplings, friends. So I just drop all this in and boil the veggies because again, the chicken's already cooked. If you're using raw chicken, put it all in at the same time. Don't worry about frying your chicken first. Literally everything goes in the pot. It's all gonna boil at the same time. It's all gonna be ready in under 15 minutes. While the veggies boil, I'm gonna go ahead and make the dumplings, which is so ridiculously easy, these drop dumplings. It's 2 cups of flour, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, a cup of milk, and then some salt to taste. Like that's literally it. You don't have to be perfect with the measuring with this either, which is nice. I'm pretty sure my kids only eat this soup because the dumplings are so amazing. So easy, so hearty, and like I said, 15 minutes and dinner's on the table. Okay, so it's been boiling for a little bit. It already smells so good. This is where I give it a little taste with a spoon that's not gonna go back in to make sure it's like chickeny enough. So good, but still could use some more. So I'm just add a little bit more liquid. Like that's what I love about the liquid. You can really get it to exactly, I like a real chickeny chicken soup. Oh, it's looking amazing. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add the chicken because it's already cooked, right? I don't wanna overcook it. Just your leftover chicken. Such a good way to use this up and make a hearty, amazing soup. And I mean, any kind of veggies that you have too. You can just make a leftover soup because it's all about the dumplings, friends. Now comes the dumplings. I'm gonna turn this down to like a medium simmer and just wanna take your sticky dumplings and drop them in on top. Plonk. They're gonna float up and cover the whole top. You put the lid on and you just let that simmer for another 8 to 10 minutes. And literally in 15 minutes, you have the most amazing homemade chicken soup. Soup is done. Oh my gosh, it looks amazing. I'm gonna add just a little bit of pepper on top. The chicken broth already has a lot of salt, so I'm not gonna add salt, but I like a little green on the top, so maybe oregano or basil, something, parsley, you do you, boo, just so it looks so fancy. Literally the best homemade soup I've ever had. And you got to try this recipe. I'm going to put a link down below. And I didn't use the dumplings I usually do in that recipe. So I'm going to put a link to these drop dumplings too. Absolutely incredible. This next meal is one of my favorites because I actually get 2 meals out of it and it's like super crazy, insanely cheap and fast to do. Basically, you're just using pre-cooked meatballs, $10 for this huge bag. I can get 3 meals out of this for my family of 5, but Costco has an even bigger box for a better deal. So, I mean, pennies, right, for making this meal. And the way that I make this meatball pasta bake a little bit fancier is I'm adding not just spaghetti noodles, but like a different kind of pasta, cheese on top, and baking it. To heat up your meatballs super fast, we're actually gonna steam them. So you want like 3/4 of a cup of water, even half a cup of water, and then put in your frozen meatballs. And then I'm actually gonna put the lid on. And this, I'm gonna use this for 2 meals. So I'm gonna do half the bag and get 2 meals out of this. While this is like steaming, you gotta have the lid on, but I'm gonna go ahead and also add a little bit of cherry tomatoes. Totally not necessary, but I love flavor from cherry tomatoes with this. They kind of pop and melt down and just really add some extra amazing flavor. You can add fresh basil if you want to get bougie. Again, I'm just like cheap and fast here, friends, but I am gonna go ahead and add a little bit of the garlic puree, then put the lid on and just let these steam. And that's it. Takes about 3 minutes. At the same time that your meatballs are steaming, go ahead and start boiling your water for your pasta. I like using like a pasta noodle that isn't super traditional. Spirally, shell, you do, something that isn't just like spaghetti noodles. Now that the water's all evaporated, oh, the tomatoes are all exploded, you're gonna go ahead and add your marinara sauce. And I'm adding a really big jar because again, this is 2 meals. So you might wanna add even 2 jars if you have a smaller one or 1.5, or a jar and some stewed tomatoes, you're getting the idea. Stir this up, and then I'm gonna remove half of this for another meal. Noodles are done. Just mixing that all together. And then I'm gonna pour it into a pan and cover it with cheese. That's what the secret here is. It's like a cheesy bake. So we have Parmesan, we have mozzarella. You can use any kind of cheese that you like, and then just broil it so that the top gets nice and crispy. You can add parsley or basil too if you want a little extra color. This is such a quick, easy dinner, and my family loves it. think the thing I love most about the meatball bake is that I can just put it in the fridge and a couple of days later I can heat it up really quick in the oven, or you can freeze it and bring it out when you need a quick meal, which is awesome. But the other thing I love is the fact that I take half the meatballs out and then the next day we have meatball subs, which my kids go crazy for. It's awesome. It's literally just the exact, like the pasta sauce and the meatballs with a little bit of Parmesan and mozzarella cheese, broil them in the oven just so the cheese gets nice and melty and the bun gets nice and toasty, and that's it. It's like a 60-second dinner that everyone's going to love. This is what ADHD looks like. I forgot it was on broil. I do this every time. Now imagine how delicious this is when you don't forget about it in the oven. It's really delicious. I'm so lazy. I'm all about like cooking 2 meals at the same time, which you could probably tell. So making one thing, but getting 2 dinners out of it. So when I'm cooking ground beef, I'm always doubling the recipe, especially for like taco meat. So what I'm gonna do is brown this ground beef, and then it's 2 pounds. So I'm adding 2 packets of taco seasoning, and then I'm gonna take out half so that I have half of the taco meat for another recipe. You can use it for tacos. I'm going to show you another cool thing you can use it for, but if you are taking the time to brown ground beef, you might as well double it, friends. So I'm taking out half the taco meat for that other meal, which is like, oh, I love tacos, honestly. Let me just tell you, I'm like a taco monster. For the chili, we're actually using taco meat for the chili. It's called Tex Mex Chili. And let me just tell you, friends, I'm embarrassed to admit that every single thing that goes in this chili is just cans that you probably have in your pantry right now. I love this chili so much. I've served it to different people and people were like raving about it that I've entered it into 2 chili competitions and won. So I'm about to reveal my award-winning, really crappy easy chili to make chili. And it all starts, of course, with taco meat. And this is like 15 minutes to make this chili too. There's no like having it cook all day kind of thing. You don't need to. Drop it in the taco meat. And then go ahead with your favorite marinara sauce. Yes, muscles. Yeah, so marinara, definitely want some diced or stewed tomatoes, whatever you like. But instead of kidney beans, you're actually going to have black beans. Stay with me, friends. Black beans and, to the horror of many, a can of corn. And I like peaches and cream corn. Like you want like a crisp corn to go in here. It really adds sweet with the spicy. And then the real secret is Clubhouse chili packet seasoning mix. So none of this is, I make nothing original. It's all just from cans and packets. I'm telling you, the best chili you'll ever have. Just stir this together and you just want to heat it through. So 5 minutes, simmer, done. No all day chili. I am promising you, this is freaking amazing. And also, not only are we now getting the taco meat meal and the chili meal, but now I'm going to show you how to get a third meal out of this one meat. I've been cooking for like an hour and a half, but honestly, I've made so many meals. But this, okay, so the chili, done, amazing. This is why I love this so much. Not only is chili and toast one of my absolute favorite meals, but the leftovers is one of my kids' favorite meals, and that is chili cheese quesadilla. So you take like a scoop, you only need a little bit of leftover chili for this, a scoop of your Tex Mex chili, and spread it out on a tortilla, like half the tortilla, and then sprinkle with shredded cheese. And then there's a secret to making it extra amazing, my friends. Prepare to have your mind blown. The secret, once you've folded your quesadilla in half, is to put butter or margarine on the top of one side, and then you're sprinkling the top with Parmesan cheese. Now, when you put it in the oven, you can bake it or broil it. That's gonna like golden up that cheese and just make it taste like fancy restaurant style. And a lot of people fry their quesadillas, but I can do a whole huge batch in the oven, and this is ready in about 6 minutes. Friend, Look at these quesadillas. Oh, amazing. So you use a pizza cutter to just cut them into like little triangles. They're crispy. They're amazing. They're ready in minutes. And we like to dunk ours. We just put them on a plate and dunk them in a little sour cream. Incredible. With the leftover taco meat, we're gonna make a cheesy orzo. Delicious, friends. Just chop up a pepper and an onion, and then you're gonna saute that with the meat that's already cooked. The peppers are softened and the onions are softened. And now I'm gonna add in like 2 cups, I'm guesstimating, of orzo, which again is like a pasta that I didn't know about for the longest time. Amazing, friends. Stirring that up and then adding 3 cups of chicken broth. Again, this is the chicken broth I use, so I just have 3 cups of water. I'm just gonna add the chicken broth directly to it. It's kind of like a guesstimation. You can measure, but why? Pour that in. So sizzling. Stir this up and just let it simmer till the liquid is absorbed. And then we're gonna top it with diced tomatoes, maybe a little cheese, sour cream, and we have the most amazing cheesy taco orzo melt. This orzo turned out amazing. It's like the perfect consistency. You can top it with a little bit more cheese. Definitely you want a dollop of like sour cream. I'm gonna put some fresh cherry tomatoes on top. You can have cilantro if you have it. I just have like a ridiculous amount of parsley in my garden, so stop it. I mean, this, friends, looks fancy AF and you can make it in like 10 minutes. I gotta take a second to thank today's video sponsor, HelloFresh. I love getting HelloFresh meals delivered a couple of times a week because it just helps with that dinner making fatigue. It's hard to always come up with new ideas and remember to go grocery shopping, so HelloFresh takes care of that for you. There's over 50 recipes to choose from. Your meal kits come to your door with everything pre-packaged with easy step-by-step visual instructions that even I can put together. And a lot of the meals are under 15 minutes to make, and they're less money than takeout. If you want to take something off your plate but still have really healthy, delicious family meals, you definitely want to give HelloFresh a try. Right now, you can get 10 free meals at HelloFresh.com. Use the code Clutterbug10. That's applied 7 boxes, new subscribers only, and varies by plan. That's 10 HelloFresh meals just by going to HelloFresh.com using the code Clutterbug10. Visit the link in my description below. I suck real hard at cooking, okay? So I'm telling you this because I did not know for the longest time of this amazing thing called sheet pan meals. If you haven't heard of this, it will change your life. Basically, it's one meal that you cook everything together on a sheet pan in the oven, and I just line it with parchment paper so I don't even have a dish. There's no pots and pans to wash, and it's actually super amazing. So you start with vegetables. I like to do potatoes. You want to slice everything about 1-inch thickness. You can have onions, you can have Brussels sprouts, you can have carrots. I really like zucchini. Roasted zucchini is like so good. So you chop everything up, spread all the vegetables on your pan, and then toss them in oil with maybe salt and pepper. You can do rosemary, any kind of spice blend that you want. I'm gonna be doing paprika today. And then I'm gonna show you what you do with the meat. So for the meat, I'm going with pork because it's so cheap. And this is gonna seem crazy, but I literally am using brown sugar, like a lot of it, and kind of like rubbing it into the meat so that when I cook this in the oven, it makes like a crust. Oh, it's so freaking good, you guys. But I'm also gonna add maybe like a little bit of garlic to that and a crap ton of paprika. So it's going to be sweet, but also the smoky flavor from the paprika. Guys, so good. And again, baking it all in one pan. Amazing. Making stuff, cooking, random stuff. And we're gonna really rub it in, really rub it in, really rub it in, so delicious, so delicious. Pop this all in the oven for like 20 minutes. I know it's a little bit longer than 15, but super worth it. It's gonna turn out perfect. And this is why I love sheet meals. I'm just gonna sprinkle a little parsley on top. Friends, no dishes, no pots and pans to clean. It's this amazing, delicious meal in minutes. This is a win. And this last one I had to include because we eat this all the time and my kids love it, and it's something you can keep on hand all the time too. So naan bread, you can even get the mini naan breads, which we've used before, and then pizza sauce. Pizza sauce lasts in your fridge for like over a year, friends. So super worthwhile to have. Just squirt that on, spread it around, top it with your favorite toppings. We always have pepperoni in the house because, again, pepperoni lasts so long. It's like a cured meat, so you don't have to worry about it going bad like a lot of lunch meats. So it can last in your fridge a really long time. And those nights where you're rushing, where you don't have time, you just throw together one of these like quick little pizzas. So amazing. You can also cook them in the air fryer in record time, and you can use any topping. So if you have leftover veggies or bacon, you do you, boo, and make your own naan bread pizzas. These 5-minute pizzas turned out amazing. They look so good. They're so cheesy. Seriously, with things you have on hand all the time, this is one of my kids' all-time favorites. I hope you're feeling really inspired to make one of these super fast meals. I made all of them in under 2 hours. And what you're left with, my friends, is a giant mess. I wasn't cleaning as I went because I was trying to hurry for you. And look at now, every pot and pan is dirty, and I have 8 meals that I have to now find room for in the fridge. On the plus side, my kids have already eaten the meatball subs and the quesadillas, and it's not dinner yet. So winning in life and also kind of failing. But thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for those of you who have stayed to the end. My mom, who's also super ADHD, is building a house, and she asked me, should she get a gas or electric stove? And I was like, bro, don't get gas. Because this has been a year of me having a gas stove, and I've almost blown us up multiple times because I don't realize that the flame isn't on and it's just gas pouring into the house. And also I have set a dishcloth on fire because I accidentally set it beside and the flames came out. And then last night, Isabel on her way home from work ordered DoorDash Taco Bell. And I thought it would be really nice and like heat up the oven and then put her Taco Bell in there, but I tried to heat it up fast with a broil from the top and I put her paper Taco Bell bag. I didn't realize it's actually flames and I set the bag on fire. I hope nobody from the fire department is watching this. My point is, 1 year, lots of mishaps with a gas stove. Let me know in the comments below if you are a gas stove lover. Apparently everyone says it's better, or electric because ADHD. Anyways, I'm curious. I can't wait to see your comments, and I'll see you guys next time.